Hi everyone, Kelt here, bringing you my thoughts on the British royal family, and today I'll be talking about the latest photo of Catherine and her children, which she now says she's edited. The photo's release was a relief to many fans and a way for them to prove to the opposition, so to speak, that Catherine is in fact okay and still with us, due to all the negative rumours. However, things were spotted in the photo. There were anomalies with Princess Charlotte's sleeve of her jumper, cardigan, Catherine's hair, Prince Louis's hand, various things, and the tree behind them and the paving underfoot. There were various things that different people were pointing out. In fact, there was a list published in one of the newspapers which pointed out every single thing that was spotted and said to be photoshopped. The thing is, I am, like many of you, probably quite amateurish at photoshopping, but I do mess around with it occasionally. And if you're trying to edit something out, maybe a bit of background that you don't want people to see, it can often happen that you can try to fix that and end up blurring something in the foreground, something that you didn't want to, completely by accident. What stood out to me was Catherine's quote and the way it was worded, and she says, and I quote, "Like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph we shared yesterday caused. I hope everyone celebrating had a very happy Mother's Day. See." That was quite interesting because it's an apology and it's sort of worded in a way as if they didn't expect to cause any confusion and apologising for that confusion in the same way that that tweet was put out at 1 a.m. in the morning, I believe it was, some time back when it was regarding the birth of Archie, and they put out, it was alleged that Catherine had put this out, apologising that the Sussexes had used a surrogate and apologising then for, I think the words used were not confusion, but misunderstanding, I think was the word used then. So interesting. It did make me, when I read this, it did make me think back to that tweet. 5 international picture agencies who had originally distributed the image, which was sent to them by Kensington Palace, decided to issue what is known as a kill notice to withdraw it. This was after concerns that it had been manipulated. This is a very unusual step to take, and apparently the UK-based PA Media also withdrew it afterwards, after they had attempted to get urgent clarification from the palace, but had failed. A royal source said afterwards that Catherine had made minor adjustments to the image, and that it was an amateur family photograph taken by the Prince of Wales, as they wanted an informal picture of the family together for Mother's Day. So the royal source also says that the princess made minor adjustments, and as she shared in her statement on social media, the Wales family spent Mother's Day together and had a wonderful day, according to the source. Although there were calls for the original photograph to be published, Kensington Palace said that it would not be reissuing the unedited photograph. It would probably be embarrassing for Catherine, I would think, if she had in fact edited it quite a bit, and then we would see what was of concern to her. Maybe she wasn't looking too good and decided to blur out a few forehead wrinkles or something. Or maybe there was more involved in the editing. It was said to have been saved twice, so I think it's possible. And some of you suggested that her whole face was taken from another photo and placed in this picture. I don't know. It looks pretty genuine to me, apart from the odd bit of Photoshop, which could have been done for any number of reasons. We often have things in photos that we want to edit out, something lying around on the floor or in the background. Anyway, the fact that William took the photo, I think, says it all. Catherine is the photographer out of the family, and as William took the photo, it probably was not as good as Catherine would have liked, she being an artist and a photographer, and possibly a perfectionist as well. It could have been as simple as that. Many are saying that it's not making the royals look good, that they seem to have gone downhill recently since the Queen died. I think that people have short memories and forget that there were many things that we mentioned when the Queen was alive, especially the photos of them with Meghan and the alleged Archie and Lily photograph. I don't know all that's going on. I have been told a few things. I don't believe everything I hear, but I've always said that I do believe that Catherine is okay, and I think maybe it's best to take this picture at face value. Yes, it's true that we don't know what's real or fake anymore. CGI and AI are so good nowadays that we cannot really trust our own eyes, but we can go by our gut instinct. There was really no need for a photo to be released apart from the pressure that was put on by the previous photo, which I still don't believe was Catherine. And if it was not meant to have been put out for the public to see. And I still don't think that she and her mother would have been careless enough for that to have happened. I think much of it has become obsessive when it comes down to questioning things like the positioning of Catherine's zip and the fact that she was missing her wedding rings. There could be very reasonable explanations for that. If you look carefully, Prince Louis's fingers look crossed. They look quite odd. You can guarantee that there will be some trying to read something into this, for instance, that maybe it's some secret message to us. How far do we actually take this? Whatever is going on with the royals, this is what they want us to see. A happy family with William taking the photo. So it's more about why, that picture is out there, than what it looks like. This is obviously what they want us to see. The palace also did confirm that Catherine was driven by Prince William from Windsor to the Commonwealth Day service in London. She was apparently not attending the service, but was said to have a private appointment. So I would have thought she would have been seen going in or out of this building. It's quite strange that we have been given this announcement from Kensington Palace when her first public appearance is supposed to be after Easter. Mark Borkowski, a public relations consultant, describes the photograph fiasco as a massive own goal and said that the original edited photograph should be released to regain trust. So they're basically saying that it's caused suspicions, and conspiracy theories will thrive in situations like this whereby there's an information vacuum, and he calls them to be transparent. And then we have Graham Smith from the campaign group Republic saying, and I quote, "This kind of dystopian behaviour you might expect from Soviet Russia, not modern Britain. The monarchy has always sought to manipulate and manage its image, but if they have tried to fake a photograph to silence online conspiracy theories, that's disgraceful." End quote. After all the chronically bad and obvious photoshopped pictures that we've had from the Sussexes, it's quite ironic that their spokesperson, so to speak, Omid Scobie, says on X that if it was an isolated incident, then it was an unfortunate error. But then he says that with the palace's long history of lie covering up and even issuing statements on behalf of family members without their permission, and he obviously means Prince Harry, it's becoming increasingly difficult for the public to believe a word, and now a photo that they share. This is quite an unbelievable statement coming from him after all the unreal photoshopped photos that we've had that have been obvious by the Sussexes and their team. Could it be possible that this has been done intentionally to get us to question everything and maybe bring out the truth regarding the Sussex photos throughout recent years and the alleged children? Or is it just Catherine being like most of us, adding a touch of green to the trees in the background just because it makes a better picture, and tidying up the edges of the children's clothing, or altering their hands because they're looking weird, maybe changing some background distractions and things? What is wrong with doing that? Or is there a lot more to this whole thing? This poor woman has never put a foot wrong, always came out for whatever royal appointment she had looking immaculate, her clothing perfect, and now it's like the world expects her to be perfect. So all the more reason for her maybe to Photoshop a little. It was said by Sky News that an examination of the photo's metadata revealed that it was saved in Adobe Photoshop twice on an Apple Mac on Friday and Saturday, and the picture was taken on a Canon camera. Poor Catherine. We know that she's a good photographer, so this time she gets her husband to take the photo so that she can actually be in it and has to tidy it up a little, and all hell breaks loose. I would have thought that she and the palace would have known that the picture would have been studied by the eagle-eyed general public and that anything like this would have been spotted, which it has. So what is really going on with all of this? And just a thought, while they're calling for the original of this photo to be released, then maybe we can also have the original photos of Archie's so-called christening, where Catherine was like a giant in it, and there was a missing chair leg, and more. Also the photo of the Queen and Prince Philip gazing at Archie being held by Meghan with Doria and Harry looking on. Let's see the originals of those photos. I'm beginning to think that there is a reason behind this Wales's family photo, and maybe it's going to lead to a release of the truth regarding all the rest of it. What do you think? Let me have your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.